ঠিক আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ। সাউন্ড কি চেক করেছেন? না আসলে সেটা আপনাদের রিস্ক। ওকে, let's go for a few things. The lecture will be delivered in English, so you have to catch me. Okay. Few things that we should remember if we want to be successful, not in the professional life, but in the personal life. Why should I call that you have to be successful in the personal life rather than professional life? Because if you remain successful in your personal life, you can be successful in your professional life. These are vice versa, dependent on each other. Let's go for the first thing. Let me tell you a story. A boy and a father, they were on a train, they were on the journey, and try to take the notes, okay? After each story, there will be a moral of the story. So try to write down this moral. A father and a son, they were on the train, and they were having a beautiful journey. The son, who looked outside and asked a question to the father, you know, the sky is blue? And the father replied, yes, the sky is blue. Then again, the train moves on. Again, he asked the question, Father, the trees are green? Father said, yes, the trees are green. And then he looked back at his father and asked, Father, are you my father? And he replied, yes, I'm your father. A lady from the backside, she paused the conversation and she said, you know what, I think your son has a crack. Your son has a crack, you should take him to a doctor. And the father replied, you know, beautifully. He said that, you know what, my son had an eye operation a few days back, and for the first time, he's witnessing the beautiful sky, and for the first time, he's looking at me. And then he ended up the story saying, every life has a story to tell. What's the moral?
Every life has a story to tell.
Write it down. Write it down. Every life has a story to tell. And I expect that at least you can write it down, right? Every life has a story to tell. Done? So what's the message? Don't judge too quick, okay? You know why? We people are too much judgmental. We judge so quickly, right? We start judging people without even knowing him or her. So the message is, don't judge a book by its cover, one. And number two, always remember there is a story to tell. Behind every action, there must be a story. A criminal is not a criminal. Something forced him to become a criminal. A sinner is not a sinner. Something forced him to become a sinner. A murderer is not a murderer. Something forced him to become a murderer. You should know the story. Clear? And that's why there is a system of justice. And there is called confession. And you go to the court and you have to proclaim actually why did you commit the murder. Right? So this is the first thing. What is the first message? Say it again. Every life.
Every life has a story to tell.
Very good. Thank you. Now, second thing that you really need. Okay, these are connected. Now, number two. Number two is called kindness. Number two is called what? Kindness. Now look at it. Look at the board. If I imagine that, if I just want to put it down here, if something like that, imagine that you are feeding a beggar. I think all of you know who is a beggar, right? Beggar, right? Are you okay? So what are you doing? Feeding. Meaning that you served him food and he's having the tasty food. Now look, what happens? Who received the kindness? So he's a receiver, right? Okay. And then who is providing the kindness? You. So you are the provider, right? So provider to receiver. And you find that there are some people as well who is witnessing it, right? Right? So what happens right now? The kindness has 3 circles, and there is a provider who feels good. Who feels good to provide. And number 2 is what? receiver who feels good to receive, right? And number 3, witnessed, right? He feels good to witness it, right? See the circle? So it's not only that you are getting the benefit. It's not only you who is getting the benefit. The receiver is also getting the benefit, and the guy who witnessed it, he's also what? Getting the benefit. See? That's why the kindness is one of the most generous acts that one can perform. You get it? So make sure that you have that kindness in your heart. This is something that you must have. Clear?
Yes.
So now, you're having class with so many unknown people, strangers, absolutely, right? You never met before. So what's the problem right now? You should be kind towards your fellow classmates. Why?
Because they are friends.
Because these are not only disturbing, slowly, okay. Because it's not only giving you the pleasure, but someone who is witnessing it, he's also getting the pleasure of witnessing something good. This is how we people become motivated. And even in the movie scene or wherever you go, like you find that if there is an act of charity, or there is an act of kindness, it makes you emotional, right? Because it makes you feel good. So kindness is kind of a virtue that we must possess as a human being. Make sure that we all have that kindness. So when you look at your fellow classmate, make sure that you look with the eye of kindness. Clear? Done. Now come for number 3. So what's the second point?
Kindness.
Kindness, very good. Rest of the class, what's the second point?
Kindness.
Okay. Now let's go for the third one. Okay. Now if I ask you a question, if it's something like that, if I ask you the question, how do you prove that you exactly, who are married here? Okay. I don't want to know. Okay. How do you prove exactly that you love your father? Is there any meter that can prove that you love your father? Is there any meter or is there any radio frequency that can catch that you really love your father?
Can be explained.
It can't be explained, right? You
Can be
can't.
explained.
Okay. It means what? Then when did the love happen between you and your father? Can you remember the exact date? We can't remember that. Or even if I give you a more precise example, like if you love someone, can you just give me the date exactly that on this day or just during this particular time this love happened with her? Can you? We don't remember the date, right? We don't remember the time as well. It's because we're human beings. Then how did the love happen? And how did you prove that you exactly love someone? Is there anything that you can prove? Cutting your hands or cutting your hands? Can you prove it? We cannot prove it. Then how does it happen, the love? Okay. If I ask you the question, like if you're too fat, and if you're going to the gym, and every single day you are, not every single day, like you want to just put yourself into shape, and you start doing gym, and you had a gym of 2 hours or 3 hours, and you stand in front of the mirror. Do you see any change in your body? Are you getting me? If you're performing gym for 2 hours or 3 hours and you just stand in front of the mirror, do you find any change in your body? No, there is no change. Any change? No. But if you're performing gym for 20 minutes each day, and after 6 months, if you stand in front of the mirror, do you find any change? Obviously, there is a change, right? You find that your body is into shape. The shape you're looking for, right? Right? Your body is into shape. But why doesn't it happen? Like you're performing gym for 9 hours, like the single day I'm going to burn my fat. But if you stand in front of the mirror, you find there is no change at all. Meaning that if you want to change yourself, it's something that you need consistency. you need to perform all day long. Now, let me give you more precise examples. I think we all go to the dentist, right? Do you go to the dentist?
Yes.
Or don't you go? Like it says like after age 6 months or after a year, you must go to the dentist just to check up your teeth if things are okay or not, right? Like if you just go to a doctor after 2 years or 6 months, is it better or something like each day you brush your teeth for 2 minutes? Which is better?
It's different.
And when you brush your teeth for 2 minutes, do you find any change? No. But if you're not brushing your teeth for 20 days,
You will find change.
you find what?
Change.
Change. See that? These 2 minutes each day, how significant it is. It's really significant, right? It gives you life. Just 2 minutes each day. Each night you brush your teeth for 2 minutes, it gives you pleasure, right? It's consistency. Every single day you do something for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, every day, it makes you successful. So if you want to be a good leader or something, whatever you want to be, you need consistency. It's not something like you come in a workshop, leadership course going on, and I give you a certificate, leader. Consistency you must have. Clear? So what is the third point? Consistency. Let me give you more example. If you love someone, is it something like you just purchase a bunch of flowers and you're roaming around her and you say that, you know what, my heart beats for you, right? Roaming around and giving a bunch of flowers, or wishing her on her birthday, does it make it love? No. But look at the thing. When you just wake up early in the morning, before you check your phone, you wish a good morning to your wife. When you just get up early in the morning, when you are taking a drink for you, before you serve yourself, you serve your wife. Every single day. It creates love. You had an amazing day at your office, and you return home and you want to share that, you know what, today I had an amazing day, but you heard that your wife is still telling you that, you know what, today I have a bad day. You stop yourself and you start listening her awful stories. That's called consistency. That's called maturity, right? This is how, the consistency, and this is how you become a good leader. This is how you become a good human being. You know that you have a good message to deliver, but before you deliver your good message, you hear people actually, what do they want to say? You exactly know what to say, what the thing. Clear? Done?
Yeah.
So meaning that number 3 was consistency. Now number 4. Number 4 is much more interesting. Have you heard the name of Nelson Mandela?
Yes, sir.
He was a profound leader, by the way. So Nelson Mandela, he used to say that, this story is really amazing. He says that, you know what, when I used to be with my friends, I used to be, when I was younger, I used to roam around with my father. And, my father was the tribal chief. Tribal means what? Because, in Africa, there is tribe. There are tribes,
He was the head of the tribe.
His father was the head of the tribe, okay? So when they used to have a meeting, they used to, make a circle, and they'll be making a circle, and they'll be sitting, okay? And then they will discuss the thing. So Nelson Mandela, he was saying that he learned from his father, which, just escalate him to become a great leader. He said that, when I just learned from my father, everyone will speak, and my father will listen, and he'll be the very last to speak. So the message to you is that be the last to speak. Don't hurry. Listen first, and then be the last to speak. Clear? Write down. Sometimes sometimes it's much more valuable to be the last to speak. Be the last. Are you writing it down? No. Write down. Be the last to speak. Okay. Now come for. Okay. Okay. Number 5. Go for number 5 now. If I say let me again a story connected. It says that the story is something like that. A man who is just on the stage delivering a lecture. And he said that. And he was holding a cup of coffee, but this cup of coffee was served in a styrofoam cup. Do you know what is a styrofoam cup? It's called one-time cup. It's made of styrofoam. That's why it's called styrofoam, okay? So the styrofoam cup, he was served a coffee in a styrofoam cup. And he was having the coffee, and he recalled the story, the past story. And he said that, last year, I came on the same stage. Just to give a speech, deliver a speech. But last year he was the head of an organization. But today he came as just a guest. But last year he was what? The head of the organization. Then he recalled the thing. He recalled something like that. You know what? When I was the head of the organization, when I wanted to came here, in the hotel room, and even they booked a business class airplane for me. They booked the 5-star hotel for me. And when I was on the lobby, there was someone to guide me in the lobby. And when I was asking for a cup of coffee, there was so many people. They were offering me a cup of coffee. But today, when I came here, when I was asking for a cup of coffee, then someone showed me, serve yourself. And I served a coffee in a styrofoam cup. And I served myself. Then he said, you know what? This ceramic cup, the ceramic cup was for my position. And this styrofoam cup is for me. People respect your position, not you. So when you retire, people don't care. So this styrofoam cup is for you. The ceramic cup that you see is not for you. It's for your position. So always, when you respect someone, don't respect the position. Show your true love. Respect the human being. Clear? End. Done? People respect position, not you. Done? Thank you. Can you stop the recording right now for a while? Stop the recording.